Alrighty, traders. This is Blake Morrow. First of all, I'd like to give a shout out to Mark for helping me out with the sound. I was using my microphone for something else, and so it was my sound was getting routed in a different direction. So, but it's working fine now, apparently. Let me know if you guys have any sound issues. So let's talk about what's happening in the market, which isn't a whole lot. I mean, if you look at the S&Ps, the S&Ps are still struggling with this resistance that we talked about earlier today. This 3410, 3420. That had been, remember, this had been a big issue for the market, big support for a long time. I mean, this is dating back a couple of weeks. We've just been we were bouncing off of that support, and now we're struggling as resistance. So I was actually just doing a little bit of work here because I was talking about some different scenarios as we get closer to the election. Let's think about for a moment, what we've got. We've got about a week left before the U.S. election. So a week from today. I have to imagine people are going to start getting a little nervous, whether it's, we're probably going to see some position squaring. And what could that really look like? Well, in my opinion, it could look a couple of different ways. If people keep fading the market, we could get a short squeeze. And you might think, well, why would we get a short squeeze? Well, look, if Biden's going to win, or if it looks like Biden's going to win, and the polls aren't really tightening, people that are short thinking, oh man, he's not going to win, Trump's going to win, and we're not going to get this blue wave. They may be been selling into the strength, and, they might be forced to cover. Flip side to that is, let's say the polls tighten, which I think is more of a realistic, scenario. People that might be long that, they're long because of the blue wave, and they're like, God, I remember 2016, and what if Trump comes back, which I think is a very high probability, personally. People could get a little nervous here and sell, some risk. Now, I don't think we're going too far. So let me just, state that I think that this channel that you see here is probably going to be fairly valid going into the next week. I think I said it in the face webinar. I think we're going to be doing something like this, or vice versa, like this, trying to grind lower, I believe. But what I was just talking about just a moment ago, about the dollar index, I think the dollar index really has outlined what I'm looking for going or following the election. But I want to take a moment just to talk about, the next week, and really the next couple of weeks. Okay. The next couple of weeks are going to be choppy, and it's going to be imperative you do not get too aggressive, because you don't want to get yourself in a situation that you can't get yourself out of, if that makes any sense. And I think there's some cross rates that are probably going to be easier to trade. Maybe like, the Aussie New Zealand, and I'll give you an example of what I'm doing with that here in a moment. Or trading maybe the Euro Sterling, maybe based on some Brexit news that comes out. Those are things that I think or those are pairs that you might look to trade, that can eliminate like the prospects of getting a dollar spike one direction or the other. But looking at the dollar index, knowing that this multi-year trend line is, right here, around the 92, well, it's at 92.40, but really support, it comes in around 92. That's going to be support. Resistance is 94.50. Us popping out of this blue triangle, or blue rectangle, excuse me. As a matter of fact, let me do something really fast. I'm going to make this a little wider. That work? That didn't work. Oh, crap. Hold on. I thought it would work, but background. No? Oh yeah, it is working. Okay. So I think that, moving out of this range is going to be what does it for me, with the dollar, because obviously the dollar is going to be spiking if we're risk off, or, we see prospects of stimulus, going out the door, which would be Trump wins, maybe a blue Senate, Democratic Senate and House, or the dollar gets creamed, and that's because stocks are going higher, and we've got a Biden win with a blue, the blue wave, if you will, and then stocks would rip and the dollar would get smashed. So I'm really looking for a move outside of this, this level, and this is the spike low here at 94.50. From the post-COVID lows. So that's what I want to see out of the dollar going into the next couple of weeks. But I do think that the next couple of weeks are going to be very choppy, because I don't think a week from tonight we're going to know what the election results are. And so it is imperative, and I'm gonna tell you guys this for your own safety. It's imperative that we will have to trade, make a plan, take your trades, but it's okay. And I have to express this, because I'll feel horrible if I don't say this to you guys. It's okay to be wrong, but just don't stay wrong. I can guarantee you, whatever plan I put together, I'm going to have hiccups. My plan may or may not work, but if it doesn't work, I have to, realize, oh crap, I made a mistake. I got to get out. It was a bad trade. I'm just not going to stick with it. Just know that, it's okay to be wrong. Just don't stay wrong. Don't get yourself in a situation you have a hard time getting yourself out of. Amira says, if Trump will win, the S&P will go up. If Biden wins, the S&P will go up. If we do not know who will win, this will be, well, actually, I don't necessarily agree. If Trump wins, the market goes up, because see, if Trump wins and he doesn't have support of the House and Senate, it's going to be really hard for him to pull together any stimulus. And then on top of that, a Trump win, he's going to go after China, after Europe, after, our, trading partners, even more aggressively on a second term. So I disagree. I actually think with a Trump win, especially if he does not have the Senate, the market's going to really come off, and we're going to see the dollar really strengthen too as a result. But again, that's my plan. That doesn't make me right either. I'm just telling you how I feel, right? Correct. You feel free to disagree with me. I'm not saying, I never say it's my way or the highway, or my idea is right and yours is wrong. I just don't feel that way. I never mean to express myself in that fashion, but my feelings are, I think actually a Trump win, especially if he does not have the Senate, we are going to go lower, probably pretty aggressively too. So that would be my initial thoughts. But we won't know. And that's the problem, is we probably won't know for a couple of weeks, unless Biden wins by such a large margin that it's, it's just not contestable. And then, that's possible too. And the reason why I say this is not, and I'm not trying to tell you to feel one way or vote one way or whatever. It's because I think a lot of the pollsters are adjusting, because they got swiped so bad in the 2016 election. I think that they're actually adjusting towards Trump, meaning they're giving Trump more of an edge in the polls, so they don't get caught wrong-footed. But that would actually favor Biden if that's truly the case. So again, I'm trying not to rule anything out. Let's talk about today's moves really quick, and let me talk about the Aussie New Zealand. So here's the Aussie New Zealand. We're actually testing the 200-day moving average. Some of you guys bought the Aussie New Zealand down in the 20s. I'm long. My average is right now like high 40s, so I'm only down like 15 pips or whatever. I'm not going to get super aggressive unless, let me put it that way, unless we break back above right here, which would be the channel resistance, which would be, basically 106.75, 106.80. I want to see it as intraday making higher highs. And, once we start doing that, then I'll really probably add a little bit more aggressively, because the reason why I would do that is because I know that it's respect to the 200-day moving average. And and if you look intraday, we sold off to new lows, and relative strength is still divergent. So that would give me confirmation that, above here, I need to be adding, right? Something like that. And then especially above 107 and a quarter or 107.15, then I want to add a little bit more. But those are things I want to do when the trade starts actually working in my favor. I don't want to be aggressive down here and then be wrong either. Trying to play the US dollar Mexican peso long off of the support. I'm not really too comfortable with it, but then again, I'm not comfortable with the market. The market just is really retaining its gains. We have to see a little bit of a sell-off in order for the dollar Mexican peso to move higher. The dollar Canadian, I bought a little bit earlier today. It's bouncing off this trend line support, which it should. I'd like to see it, trade up towards 132. If not, I'll just cut the trade, sometime today. But I'm keeping it light and not getting too aggressive because I'm not comfortable with the market as a whole. And one of the things is I'm just trying to get positioned into get in a small enough position to a place where I can move my stops to break even. Then I can, let the trade breathe a little bit. That's what I'm trying to accomplish here over the course of the next couple of days, is position myself. Like, let's say, for example, I'll just give you an example and then I'm going to let you guys go. I get long the dollar Mexican peso, which I'm long a little bit here at 90. I think my cost average is 95 from the last 2 days. And we're trading at 89. So let's say, we trade back up towards, 2110, like up towards here. We trade back up towards 2110, and it looks like we're kind of moving higher towards the end of the week. That's good, because then I know I've got a profitable position. I can move my sorry, I was just some earnings news. I can move my stop up to break even. I can sit in my position a little bit and, kind of give it some breathing room going into the election. So I'm trying to pre-position myself ahead of the election. But that doesn't always work. I mean, we could, over the course of the next couple of days, we could do this, first, gets me out of my trade, and then, finds a bottom and then comes this way. We could do either or. So that's why I just can't be aggressive here. I'm just trying to get myself into some sort of, power position going into next week. Amira says, look at all the elections, 2016, 12, 8, 4, 2000, the market was going up. It can't go down 2 weeks after, it will go higher. Yeah, I mean, the market does seem like they make an excuse for it to always go up. But I will say this, that if Trump can't stimulate the economy with stimulus, like another couple trillion, I think the market will come down, because that overall, okay, because we're still dealing with a slowed economy because of COVID. Jason says, thoughts on the New Zealand dollar head and shoulders? With the Davos RBNZ a few weeks ago, very surprising to see how strong the Kiwi has been. I sold some Kiwi at 67.15. If you were in the chat room, you knew that I was selling. It spiked up a little bit higher than I thought it was going to. Is the 127% extension of this move lower, right? This one right here. And it's the highs from over here. So I sold into that strength. I'm barely profitable right now, but I'd like to see it by the end of the day close back below 67. Then I'd feel a little bit more comfortable with it. So that's how I feel, Jason. Yeah, and am I surprised that it's stronger? I am, but not a lot surprises me right at this moment. So, but I'm it's like I sit here and scratch my head and going, man, why is the Kiwi so damn strong? I don't know. I was scratching my head this morning when the dollar Mexican peso was down at 20.85. I was like, what the hell is it doing way down here? I should have added, obviously, but I wasn't going to, because I was afraid that it might blow through those lows. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, hey, I want to say thank you all so much for your support, as always. If you are listening in after the fact, that means you're not a ForexAnalytix subscriber. If you're listening to this like 24 hours from now, make sure you try us out. It's only $1 for 10 days. So you guys have a great one. I am going to roll out. I need to go brush my teeth. Yeah, I do. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.